I'm Eddie Conway, coming to you from Baltimore. Welcome to this special edition of Rattling the Bars. In the last couple of weeks, since September the 9th, there has been a national prison strike going on in several states in the United States. Last week, I talked to the outside national spokesperson, Kenneth Glasgow, Reverend Kenneth Glasgow, from the Ordinary People's Society. So I'm back this week to find out what the latest information is on the national prison strike. Reverend Kenneth, thank you for joining me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, let's get it straight. I'm not the Reverend. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, those are the Reverends. I'm the pastor. I stay low to the ground.
Okay,
I
got
low to the ground.
I got that. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, what's going on now is that there's a real big turn of the tides. And what I mean by that is that you have some officers, two officers quit this morning. One officer quit last night. A couple of other officers are coming forth talking about the hostile environment. And it's not so much that they're siding in order to riot, to have the strike with the inmates, but what they're doing is agreeing with the inmates that the administration has created a hostile environment and that their lives are in danger too. They also seem to agree with the inmates on the fact that they should be getting paid for the work that they're doing, because otherwise the officers will be doing it. There should be anywhere, from what I understand from a former officer who wants to remain anonymous right now because he got family that's still there, there should be anywhere from 35 to 50 officers on each shift. They actually only have anywhere from 7 to 12 officers on each shift at this particular time. With those that have quit in the last few weeks, they only have about 7 on each shift. And last Saturday, none of them showed up. So these are the things that's happening. The next phase of the strike, you have some people still on hunger strikes. They have subsided from doing the work stoppage and went to hunger strikes, being just as effective. But they're also dependent on the outside people to start being very, very aggressive and boycotting. We will be boycotting those industries and companies that claim they've been outsourcing but are really insourcing, using prison labor and prison slavery.
Okay, well, just step back with me for a minute.
All right.
When I talked to you the last time, this strike was occurring in about a dozen states with maybe 20 prisons involved.
Yes, sir.
Since then, how has that changed? Are there more prisons involved in it, but in a different way, on a hunger strike as opposed to a work strike? Bring us up to date about what's been happening in the last 2 weeks with the prisoners.
Oh, man, a lot done happened. So what has happened is you still have 11 states and about 20 different prisons. They are doing hunger strikes now. They're doing more aggression is going on in Alabama, where they're doing lawsuits and Rule 32s about the 1901 Constitution. In South Carolina, they're on hunger strike. California, Michigan, you heard about the retaliation, and they're doing hunger strikes there. Virginia, some of those are still locked up, but they're doing hunger strikes there. Different places are starting to do the hunger strikes and starting to address it in a different way, and calling on the outside to start addressing it in a more aggressive way.
Mm-hmm. Does this mean that they are going to work, or they're not working and they're not eating?
Well, some of them are going to work now, more so than they were in the past 3 weeks. But in order for them not to get disciplinaries and to be retaliated against. So they asked some of the people that are veterans, some of them that have life without parole, have no family, have no other means of any kind of resources, that's no family or support to send the money in. They have asked them to go back to work, but also joining in the hunger strike as well.
Okay, one of the things I was looking at, it seems that there's been several incidents also around the world in relationship to this strike? This strike is was called in celebration, not celebration, but remembrance of the Attica strike. Is that right?
That's most definitely right. It was called on the 45th day of the Attica strike. It was called by, initiated by, and it was organized by, those Free Alabama movement inmates that's in Holman prisons are the one that initiated, organized it, and are carrying it out. And it went across 24 states, 40 to 50 different prisons, still carrying on with 11 states, about 18 different prisons.
Well, one of the things that I see in Australia, which I didn't expect to see that, there was a juvenile activity in the juvenile prison in Australia in support of the strike. I also see that there was also activities in jails in France and in other places. I mean, how widespread is this outside of the United States?
Well, it's widespread all over the United States. As a matter of fact, what we're asking people to do on the outside is also go to their jails, and not only to look at their life without parole in their states, look at the Habitual Offender Act laws in their states, look at the juvenile laws pertaining to juveniles being adjudicated as adults, not only look at innocence inquiry commissions, should be in each one of your states that extend beyond those on death row, but those in prison, period. We're also asking people, requesting and strongly suggesting to people to go to each and every jail, their local city jails, local county jails, and tell them that they have the right to vote. And if they don't, then they could call me at 334-791-2433. They could go to our website, theordinarypeoplesociety.org, theordinarypeoplesociety.org for support, to find out where there's going to be another rally, another demonstration, another action, and to also sign up for support against the 13th Amendment, to sign up for support of those that are in prison, that are doing the work stoppage and all, and to also sign up for people that have their voting rights that still have them, whether they're incarcerated or not, if they have not been sentenced and went before the courts.
Well, how will you respond to this? One of the things I've seen is in a number of jails, in cases where they have actually had lockdowns, and in other cases, the officers are saying that there's a volatile and dangerous situation.
That's right.
That seems to be coming from the guard forces. How do you respond to that?
Okay, so what we have is a couple of officers have called me, gotten in touch with me. They wish to remain anonymous right now, but they will be coming forward as of next week or so, as they have told us. 2 officers that already quit this morning. 1 officer quit last night. I've made a call to administration to ask them for us to go in and do a fact-finding mission. That's exactly what we did in Georgia in 2012. When they had the prison strike, they went across 10 prisons in Georgia. We took a fact-finding commission inside, about me and 6 others who had never stepped foot in prisons. Most of them were lawyers. A couple of them were activists, and about 1 preacher besides myself. And that's what we're going to do here. The way we're addressing it, we have also, any officer that is listening or will be listening to Real News is going to hear what we have told them privately, that we have reached out to the unions. AFL-CIO reached out to them. They have unions all across America for correctional officers, and we have reached out to lawyers for their protection against any retaliation.
Okay. Now, what's the status though in it's vague in my mind, in Alabama, of the jail Ground Zero, the prison that actually started this? Is it open again, or what's the status?
Holman is not on lockdown. It's open again. However, it has become hostile, especially since there's not enough officers there in order to maintain any kind of security. And what has been happening, and a lot of people don't want to give credit to people that's incarcerated for committing crimes, of course. But because of the inmates there, they are totally keeping the peace. They have been keeping the peace. A couple of people have got stabbed, But because of and during the prison strike, the peaceful prison strike, there was no violence whatsoever. There was no violence that they could attribute to it. But let's be very, very honest. Administration, what really got the officers on the, to make them want to really start agreeing with the inmates and the administration creating a hostile environment was the fact that, an officer got stabbed, the warden got stabbed, and they told him, "Don't worry about it." Didn't do anything about it. So that really let the officers know that they didn't care about them either, because what they looked at was the fact that this administration is trying to allow these hostile activities to go on in order to advance its political agenda. And that political agenda is to get 4 new state-of-the-art prisons. But a former officer told me yesterday, how are they going to get some state-of-the-art prisons, which are going to take about 150 officers to run that whole big, gigantic prison, when they can't get enough officers now to run the smaller prisons that they have? So these are the things that we got to look at. We also got to look at when a person is getting paid. The average person in prison is only getting paid maybe 5 cents a day, and which is really, really maybe $12 a month, something like that. So what we're going to look at is we're going to appeal to these private companies in these industries as well as boycott them. We're also going to sit down to the table and appeal to them that they may need to be the ones that's paying these prisoners that are inside.
Well. Now I understand that this nationwide strike kicked off with at least the major demand to end prison slavery.
Right.
Where does the movement to end slavery in prisons go from here? Where is
it goes to the boycotting industries and companies that claim that they have been outsourcing, but they are really insourcing using free prison slavery. It goes to us looking at all of those different laws I named: life without parole in each and every state, habitual offender laws, juvenile justice laws adjudicating juveniles, and innocence inquiry commissions, as well as asking everybody and strongly suggesting again that they go to their jails and get everybody registered to vote that's got a misdemeanor and have not been before the court and been convicted in any of your jails before the 23rd of October. And then it goes even further to appealing to the Constitution of the United States, the president being changing the 13th Amendment, which has the exception clause of someone being held in slavery or involuntary servitude by felony conviction.
Okay, well, thanks for joining me.
All right, God bless. Thank you so much, Eddie Conway.
And thank you for joining this episode of Rattling the Bars. Are we done?